Welcome one, welcome all. FSB Racing on the Air Pro Cup Series, Wednesday nights. Well, glad you could be with us tonight, and those that will be joining the broadcast. Thank you for taking a look here at FSB Racing. This is our Pro Cup Series. We're at Richmond International Speedway, or International Raceway, I should say, RIR. 3/4 of a mile, 160 laps tonight. You see it, it's a 0.75 mile D-shaped oval. Fairly wide, can run 2 grooves. So we should see not a lot of bumping and grinding, hopefully. Not the moderate sized field tonight, so this could have a green flag look once we get these tires up to heat and speed. The one thing that is a factor here is these cold tires in this Pro Cup setup can be very dicey at the beginning of runs. So we'll look to see if there is cautions and 4 tire changes happen. And let's see here. Taking a look at Richmond International here.
Are you ready? Gentlemen, start your engines!
Getting the command. And we see our field slowly streaming out. Onto the racetrack. Sam Young, Robert Bokum, our front row. Nicole Johnson, Mark DeSenza, our second row. Pops, Troy Higgins make up our third row there. Goes quick here at Richmond. We'll catch up with the rest of the guys as the race progresses. Pace car is already off the track. We're about to go green flag racing here at RIR. 160 laps, Pro Cup. We're underway. Robert Bokum on the pole. Sam Young has been hot lately and across the board, and he's going to be looking to continue his momentum here. Of course, Robert, the consummate professional, and really hungry, I know, for that Pro Cup title. And he's kind of like, don't want to use the Dale Earnhardt name too loosely, because of course, big hero of mine, and I'm sure many others. But a lot of whispers. Dale's won everything, but Daytona, never won Daytona, and finally you broke through and you won that thing and put everyone to bed, so to speak. Robert Bokum winning everything, and I'm sure has the Pro Cup title on his mind this season. Right now, Sam Young pushes ahead, and she's showing the way. Robert onto his tire strategy, fuel saving strategy mode immediately. And I remember him saying a long time ago, sometime, not even in this season, last season, maybe even the season before that, he told me, he said, if I decide I'm going to do a strategy like save tires or fuel, he goes, I'm doing it from lap 1 of when I have that opportunity. He says you can't go halfway through a run and then say, okay, I'm going to start saving now. He says it just doesn't work. He knows this game inside and out. He knows how the game reacts to when you do certain things, and it stuck with me. Yeah, of course, I don't follow his advice because I'm not that good, but if you can follow that advice, I think you'll be very successful, and that's what he appears to be doing. We see Sam and Nicole here, 1-2. They've pulled away from third place Robert and teammate Mark DeCenza right behind him. And there's Troy Higgins as well, right behind Mark. Bill Yarbrough joining the group there to make it a group of 4. And right behind that foursome is 17 of T. Roy and a 151 of Guy Petra. Going a little further back in the field. 303 of Ken Ron. 99 of Pops Margison. 83 of Steve Weber. And Bossman. Bossman riding shotgun on the field. Of course, keeping an eye over the gang. That's what he'll say is why he runs in the back. Just keeping an eye on things, observing as always vigilant boss. And that's why this league is had the successes that it has. Jim has a firm grasp on the league, and that's what it takes here. And yeah, he's pretty good. And I think he's as soon as I say that, I jinx him. A little loose, but quickly saved it. Didn't spin, didn't hit anything. Might have used a little tire. But he's all right. He'll soldier on. Sam Young continuing to lead. Nicole second. 1-2. Nice separation still from the top 2 to third place Robert Bokum, fourth place Mark DeCenza. They continue to run those same positions. Of course, again, I think Robert is just running his race right now. I think if Mark becomes the faster car, I think Robert would easily move over again and let him go. Right now it looks like he's at a comfortable pace. Mark's inclined to just stay right behind him. Good teammate work there. Troy Higgins, Bill Yarbrough still keeping their positions as well right behind him. And as you see, when it's a kind of a high to low track. You're up high here. It's a sweeping turn into turn 1. Very difficult turn. Maybe one of the most difficult. Maybe not one of the. Well, yeah, I'll say it. Maybe one of the most difficult turn-ins in NASCAR. I saw some smoke there, and we see the 151 getting a little high. 303 getting around them. There's Pops, there's Webb, and there's Bossman. So everyone continuing on. I saw a little puff of smoke. Could have been just another little brake lock up there to keep the car from getting completely out of hand. But it's a very difficult turn 1. You're up high against the wall, crossing start-finish line as we see there. And then it's a sweeping turn into turn 1, trying to carry as much speed as possible without the car breaking loose, which is extremely easy there. And then down a flat back straight, traditional. And then a little tighter turn 3, but then turn 4 kind of opens up onto the D. So not as severe of a turn out as the turn in there. And we'll see 2 lines here. There we see the 19 Troy Higgins getting a little loose and avoiding. And everyone does avoid. And we do have a caution out as well from that. So Troy Higgins there getting a little loose coming out of the turn, just as we said, and brought out our first caution of the night. Sam's caught up to the pace car already. We're watching the leaders here. We've only gone 17 laps, but is that enough for tires and fuel? Yes, and more yeses. Anyone going to stay out and steal a point? It does not look like that. 98 of Sam Young in. 5 of Nicole Johnson in. 18 Robert Bokum. 1, 2, 3. We see everyone pitting in now. Yeah, you see a little kink there for these leader pit stalls, and can be a little awkward. And you see Robert and Sam's has a lot of space there, and it's just an awkward pit stall. And you see, it looked like Robert Bokum with that preferred pit stall has now gone from third to first. That's what the preferred pit stall does for you, and that's why you want to qualify on pole. So it looks like Robert Bokum will take the lead under caution. Excellent pit stops from everyone. But that first pit stall, and you saw that spread of distance between where Robert was parked and where Sam was. Robert may have deep pitted as well to get as close to that line as possible. All you got to do is break that line. That's all you got to do as that leader, and whoever breaks that line first is the leader, or is out of pit lane for scoring purposes. And so obviously Robert knows he can just punch it and not worry about speeding or anything like that. Sam, of course, with Robert there, can't just power out of the stall. You're allowed one in, one out here at FSB Racing, meaning as you come into the pit, you're allowed to go into the pit stall right ahead of your pit for pitting purposes, as long as, of course, it's cleared and safe to do so. And you're allowed to use one pit stall in front of you as you exit, as long as it is safe to do so. So, of course, Sam couldn't just power out of his pit, being that he may have slightly beat Robert on pit time as far as when the car dropped to the ground to go. But if he just went forward, he could have contact with Robert if, for whatever reason, Robert may have had, let's say, a problem with one of the tires and his stop took a little longer, and of course Sam would run right into the back of him then. So Sam is forced to turn out of his pit stall. Robert does not need to do that, and that looked like that was the difference there. And we'll obviously watch that on all the yellow flag stops tonight and see if Robert benefits, if he does even happen to fall back to 4th, 5th, 6th position. We'll watch to see if he can go from, let's say, 6th to 2nd or do things like that that really benefit him, so he's not as concerned with track position, knowing if there's a caution that he can gain, maybe 2 or 3 positions on people. So we'll see how that goes. Robert now in the lead. Of course, he was on the pole and dropped back with Sam immediately was pressuring Robert, and Robert gave ground and fell back to the 3rd position. And let's see if he continues to do that again in anticipation of a longer green flag run. About 65 laps, 66, 67. Somewhere in that range is the distance on a full fuel run. So we'll see if that occurs. Can our drivers here get the maximum distance from tire wear and fuel? So that will be another thing to watch, as we should be getting ready for some green flag racing. And we are. Robert Bokum leads them down. We're on lap 22. So quick math, we're looking maybe 88 to 90 would be our fuel window. We'll see if we can get there. Everyone seems to have started off in single file now, of course. Double file to start the race. Can have some double file restarts if there's cars lap down. Lap down cars start on the inside. Otherwise, all lead lap cars, you'd just have single file restarts here. Sam Young, kind of a repeat of what we just saw to begin the race. Quickly gets around Robert Bokum for the lead. And Sam will set sail again. And again, Nicole comes right up on the back bumper of Robert and goes on to the inside. And it looks like she'll take that position. And again, very similar to the start of the race, where the 98 and the 5 both got out in front of Robert Bokum very quickly, and Robert kind of fell back and got into his race pace mode, and that's where we were when the caution came out. So very much a repeat, and we'll see if we can get some green flag racing and see if Robert benefits from fresher tires. But right now, the 5 Nicole Johnson trying to flip the script from that first run, and quickly gets to the inside of Sam Young and around, and will lead that lap. So our 3rd leader of the night could have had a leader under caution. Did see some cars pitting that may have stayed out to lead that lap. We'll have to check on that. But right now the 5 car is in the lead. 98 Sam Young second. 18 Robert Bocum. Mark DeSenza, Bill Yarbrough. Checking on Troy Higgins. Remember Troy spun and brought out that caution. Didn't look like any contact though. But he's running a little further back now. There's some space there between the 303 of Ken Ron, the 83 of Steve Weber. And there we see up in the points, Troy Higgins trying to maintain that high points position, closing in on our chase here. FSB chase is 6 races long. And it's just a top 10 in Pro Cup standings. No wins necessary. Anyone in the top 10 earns a spot. If you have wins and you're not in the top 10, you're not in. So it's not a NASCAR, modern NASCAR chase formula. It's an FSB chase, and that's the way we do it. Top 10 advance. The rest of the field would not have a chance to compete for the championship. Such as the 96 right now in 11th, he's has to have that on his mind, and he needs to get some points here, and hope the 10th, 9th place guys finish behind him at least, so he can gain some points. That's the boss man Jim Ray in the 96 car. He's in 11th in the points right now. So we'll see how that progresses as this night continues. Again, 160 laps here at Richmond Pro Cup Series, sponsored by Johnson Truck Lines. Thank Johnson Truck Lines for their sponsorship, providing the hardware for the Pro Cup. And let me tell you, when you win a Pro Cup, you've arrived. And a lot of great drivers still here at FSB with those Pro Cup titles. Of course, Matt Watkins, Milt Mintner, my partner, broadcast partner. Shout out to Milty. Hope you're doing all right, buddy. A lot of history in the Pro Cup here. This is the jewel of FSB racing. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, Robert Bocum has won a ton of races, and I'm sure he's very much looking forward to making a run at that Pro Cup. Going back to the lead here, Nicole continues to have a nice interval there between her and Sam, about a half second. Sam seems to have fallen into follow mode, and for Sam, you got to applaud Sammy for if he's doing that, showing a little patience here, a little race strategy by the 98. Content to let the 5 lead some laps. Of course, there we see 18 Robert Bocum, Mark DeSenza right behind him. So, usual suspects here in the front. We did flip-flop our leaders. Sam was our early leader. Robert Bocum was an early leader, of course, starting from the pole. Sam assumed the lead. We had a caution. Robert Bocum reassumed the lead. Sam then took back the lead and led some laps, but this time, as opposed to that first run, the 5 of Nicole Johnson said, Sam, I'm not one to follow scripts, and I'm going to lead some laps now, and that's what she's doing. Sammy, again, looks content. We have a caution out, though, so let's see. We see the 6 of Mark DeSenza is back a little further back than I believe he should be. So let's take a look here. Everything looking good as they go down the backstretch. And as he gets into 3, he got a little loose, slid up, did not contact anything. Rest of the guys, Troy Higgins hopefully didn't touch the wall there. It didn't look like it. I didn't hear anything. And there's boss man Jim Ray letting Mark gather it back up and safely cross the line. Caution is out. Obviously, Jim knew the caution was out, so not in danger of falling a lap down by taking your time there and getting everyone safe. again, second caution looks like just a self-spin. And that's what Richmond does to the best here. And it's not it's not the easiest track in the world. We have pit stops reoccurring again. A very similar scenario, except the 5 and 98 are flip-flopped here. Sam pitting from the second position, Nicole third. There we see Sam in, and then you see Robert disappearing off the picture. Because, why is that? Where's Robert going? Oh, and there's some contact there between the 99 and 6 as Mark DeSenza got into his pits. A little tight short track pitting here, except right here. Look at that big. And Guy Petra with a 2-tire stop, it looks like. And maybe Sam and Nicole edged out Robert Bokum. That was a very close pit out there. And let's take a look here. We'll show it in slow-mo as we see the 151 of Guy Petra cleanly crossing the line as the leader. Robert getting started. Sam and Nicole coming out burning rubber. Robert, again, though, crosses that line ahead of Sam and Nicole. And it looks like Sam and then Nicole. So that's how quick it can happen here. And I had to slow it down to show you Robert Bokum again parlaying that first pit stall twice now to his advantage. See the 96 of Jim Ray there, leading lap. Will Jim stay out? Maybe so here. I mean, there wasn't that many laps. Let's see, we went green at 22 and we're at 40, so and we're under caution, so really only about 17 laps on these tires. Is that enough for Jim to peel in? It is. Guy Petra electing to do a 2-tire change. So Guy Petra showing some aggressive strategy early on here, and I think, you know what, that I applaud him. It's early in the race. There's still 120 laps to go. He knows if he falls back a little, let's say he falls back to 6th, 7th place, you know, it's a win. It's a win for him. He leads laps. He got a bonus point. You know, and if there's another he could take a caution now as a leader possibly, and then scramble the whole field and get on their schedule, and then he could start doing 4-tire stops with the leaders, and he'd be good to go. So quick caution here. You know, 10 laps or so, he could come in, just change the other 2 tires, and still maintain that track position. So Guy Petra, good move there. I give him his props for the strategy, and let's hope it pays off for him. He's going to be our leader. He's going to lead us down, and we're back under green. Lap 42, starting lap 42. Green flags out. 151 is our new leader. FSB rules, no passing to the backstretch, which begins as you get out right there. And now the race is on. $151.98 coming out. 5 of Nicole Johnson quickly closing in on both of them, and she looks to have a very fast car tonight. Let's gotta negotiate a guy with the 2 tires. Looks like he's giving ground. So Sam and Nicole get underneath Guy, and Robert Bokum and Bill Yarbrough now are our fourth and 5th place runners. There we see Sam and Nicole, 1-2. Guy Petra falls back to 3rd, and there we see Robert and Bill Yarbrough, 4th and 5th. Of course, Bill is a hard charger. Robert's the tire manager extraordinaire, and let's see if those two clashing styles do anything here. Looks like Robert right now is content to keep that position. There we see Guy slightly falling back into Robert's grasp. And I think Robert knows, obviously, that Guy took 2 tires. So he's willing to, let him come back to him like that. He doesn't have to chase him down. You see our top 2 just leaving our picture. Guy with a little brush of the wall, it looked like there, and don't see any damage. Down the D-shaped front stretch. And let's take a ride here with the 151 car, Guy Petra. Might be a little loud, but hey, we're inside a race car. It's supposed to be loud. We can see Robert Bokum there, though, on the inside, looking in his mirror there, really pressing. And he had the spot there, so Guy staying on the outside, very difficult to come out of that turn side by side there. You saw Guy get just a little loose there. Staying down in that second lane. Robert drifting up now to take the position. The 54 Bill Yarbrough now gets to the inside. So this is what can happen once you get shuffled to the outside. See if Guy can cut down the wheel there and fend off Ken Ron, which looks like he has for the moment. But with those 2 tires, maybe just not able to keep it down on the bottom side of the racetrack. And now Ken getting up to the side of the 151 who we're riding with. We'll see if Ken can complete this pass. You see Guy really had to stay off the gas there to let the car finish that turn. He was really up high, and obviously he felt Ken down in to the left of him there. Didn't want to obviously have any contact, so he took his poison. Ken did get around on the inside, but now you see there's a little gap now, so maybe he can find his spot here and race. But here we are in Richmond. You see him coming out of 4 here, D-shaped front oval up against the wall, and here you see that sweeping turn 1, and you can see you want to get down, apex it onto the gas, down the traditional styled back straightaway, and then you want to get that angle of turn in, because with that D shape you see not a real true traditional turn off with that D shape. It lets you kind of drift out and kind of drive straight out of the turn instead of continuing on the turn and then finishing it. So interesting track, fast speeds. Let's check his speeds here. You can see on the outside, and obviously having to play the pedal with traffic on his inside. Guy getting up to about 140 miles an hour. Moving up here, riding with Steve Weber in the 6th position now. Just took it over from Guy Petra. Fell back to 7th. Crossing the start-finish line here, fastest part of the track right there, about 143, 44 miles an hour. So pretty fast for a short track. Front straight, back straight, a little less speed because it's you can't get on the gas as early as you can on that long sweeping front stretch. So can't carry more speed. It's a longer distance as well. And those are laps at Richmond. You can see they come quick and fast. 57 of 160 complete. Closing in on 100 to go. Bill Yarbrough still riding the back bumper of Robert Bokum. Going back up to our leaders. So we spent some time riding with Guy and Webb, and come back to our leaders, and looks very much the same. 5 of Nicole Johnson, still covering the 98 of Sam Young, although this time Sam has pulled up. That last, prior to the yellow coming out, Sam was seemed content on riding a little further back and just running a pace, but here we see Sam getting a little closer, working the outside to inside, and trying to get that good runoff. You see him hanging out the car, and the 5 getting a little squirrely as well, and now they're we got a caution out now too. And Nicole takes back the lead from the 98. Wow, a lot happening right there. Looking to see what maybe was the cause there. Can't say I saw anything. Let's see, we're right with Pops here, and we see that the caution is out right there. So let's maybe go through the field here. There we see our leaders. What brought out this guy? Aha! Troy Higgins brought out this caution. And let's take a look at what happened. So you get him in a little high there. Got a little loose, got a bump from T-Roy and a bump from Guy, and Guy pinched into the wall as well as Troy spun, and yeah, that's unfortunately number 2 for Troy there, so he'll have to park it. That's an unfortunate for Troy Higgins, but there we see that he has retired, so he'll finish 12th. And take a little hit on the points there, as we are back live. Taking a look at our leaderboard. On lap 63, it looks like the leaders elected not to stop. Some did, some didn't. But the 5 Nicole Johnson is our leader. I need Sam Young second, Robert Bokum third in the 18 car, and Bill Yarborough fourth. Lap 63, so we're inside 100 laps now to go. Take a look at our fastest laps there. We see Nicole has our fastest lap as well with a 7:07. Sam at a 7:49, only 2 cars in the 7s, so they've been fast, and they're proving it with the lap times as well as the laps led. So looks like two good hot rods there at the front. Robert's car looks very good too, and I think he's just saving his stuff still. He's still got 97 laps, so still plenty of racing to be done. No panic setting in ever. You see Bill Yarborough now has moved up to 4th. Martin Senza 5th. And Steve Weber 6th. So Webb taking a little punch up the standings. There we see behind Webb, we see the 17 T-Roy. Grey Goose. Cheers. 96 to Jim Ray. 151 Guy Petra. Might have had a little damage there. 303 of Ken Ron. And there's the 99 of Pops Margison. He's looks like getting some repairs as well. And back to our leaders. Lights are out on the pace car. Nicole will lead the field down again. So a couple spins by Troy Higgins and a spin by I forgot who was the other caution, but basically three spins. No contact so far to bring out any of these cautions. So again, clean driving by the group here tonight. Just short track racing, getting on that gas a little early or driving it in a little hard, and the car will come around here. Cold tires, especially susceptible. Right now, the 5 and 98 pull away immediately, and Sam making a quick move in the inside of the 5 car, and that will take the position. So Sam again doing what I guess he feels that he needs to do, and he's done it now I think 3 times, and a little kiss of the wall there by Sam. He really hammers out that first lap, and he tries to make an early pass, and then I think he just tries to consolidate that gain and stay out in front and now run a pace that you're comfortable with. Can use up your stuff just in case it goes green, as we're down to just 11 cars, so we get this thing spread out a little, it could very well go green now. So let's see if these drivers settle in. So we go look back from the top 2 there. We see the 18 and the 54 again, nose to tail. We saw that all last run as well. The 6 of Mark DeSenza kind of riding around, observing those 2. Looking for an opening that maybe Bill gets a little high, trying to challenge Robert Bokum possibly, and then Mark can maybe take advantage of a move that maybe may not. If you make a move and you can't complete it, sometimes that leaves you exposed to your opponents, and they can take advantage of that situation. And I think Mark right now is thinking if Bill makes a move on Robert to take that position, that he'll be in good spot to decide what to do. Right there, Steve Weber again. Good run for Webb so far. You see Webb running in the 6th position. T. Roy running right behind, and 96, 151 to Guy Petra. 96 of the Boss Man getting a little loose, but again saves it. No caution is out, but Guy will take a position from him, and as will Ken Ron. And that's a tricky spot of the track now that we've identified, coming out of 2. People are getting loose coming out of 2 now, and you can see a lot of skid marks in that spot. And a little wider shot so we can enjoy Richmond International Raceway. You can see not a lot of banking. We're riding with the 303 Ken Ron right now. And you can see that we've just completed a lap, so it does go pretty quick here. And looks like the 303 got a little loose and had to stab the brakes to keep the car right. And that's spaced out the field a little more there with some space between T-Roy and the 303 Ken Ron. So we've seen the Boss Man get a little loose a couple times, but save it enough that it didn't affect on the race. No caution came out, and they were able to stay on the lead lap as well. There we see the 96 making a move underneath the 151 and taking that position, and as does the 99. So Guy Petra paying now for those 2 tires, it appears. And we see the 83 down low. Steve Weber. Looked like Webb might have had a little problem there. Let's quickly roll back that tape. And you see as he came out of that turn, got loose, locked it up a little, saved it, gathered the car back in, and move it on. And you can see he's back up to speed now. So lost some positions, but kept the car out of harm's way. We see a 3 wide here. with the boss man looking a little slow here. Give up the position. Guy Petra, Pops, and Steve Weber able to get around the 96. So Jim falling back just a little. You see the 17 of T. Roy, Mark Senza, Bill Yarbrough, and there we see our top three now. We see that Robert Bokum has joined his top three. I think he wants to get around Sam Young and get behind his teammate there and support her. And Bokum Motorsports, they know about teammates, they know about teamwork, and communication is a big factor in their success. And there we see why, as Robert Bokum now takes that second position from Sam Young. So we have Nicole in first, Robert second, Sam third, and Bill Yarbrough continuing to stay relevant in this race. He hasn't been able to get to the front yet, but he certainly hasn't fallen back much. And you see he's now pressuring the 98 car, so Sam may be using up a little tire right now and has to fall back to save a little. We're on lap 83. Haven't had a full green run just yet. We've had 3 cautions. All for self spins. Unfortunately for Troy Higgins, he had 2. And had to retire out of the race. But no contact to speak of to bring out any cautions. So a lot of clean racing. That's what we like to see. 18 of Robert Bokum now has assumed that lead. 98 of Sam Young second, Bill Yarbrough third, Nicole dropping back to fourth. Teammate Mark DeSenza right behind her. See if she can stay in that top 5, and might have ran some hard laps there at the front with Sam really applying a lot of pressure. And maybe a case they both used up the equipment a little prematurely as we hit lap 86, closing in on lap 100, which would be our 60 to go mark. Right now, past halfway, closing in on lap 90 of 160. Riding with Bill Yarbrough. So Robert Bokum has reassumed the lead. He started from the pole, led some laps. During a caution, he got back out front, led a few more there, and now leading, I believe, for his 3rd time in this race. And Sam trying to keep him in arm's distance. 54 Bill Yarbrough now looking steady in 3rd, and Bill's made steady progress up from 5th to 4th and now 3rd. So Bill's car looks like to be getting a little better as this run is worn on, and we're starting to see the movers and shakers. Some moving up, some sliding back. Sam still consolidating his 2nd position, so Sam doing a nice job there. But right now he got a little high in that turn. Bill Yarbrough drove it underneath, and they're side by side as they get into turn 1. Sam concedes the position there to Bill Yarbrough. So Bill in his highest spot of the race now, 2nd place. There we see the 18 of Robert Bokum just doing what he does. Robert leading another lap. There we see our new 2nd place runner, 54 Bill Yarbrough. Sammy dropped back to 3rd. Cole 4th. Mark DeSenza 5th. So Team Bochum doing what they do. 3 in the top 5. And then we have the 54 and the 98. And see that looks like Mark DeSenza slowly pulling up on the 5. So we'll see here teammate to teammate if the position will be given, or if Mark will just be content to ride around. It remains to be seen. They're our fourth and fifth place runners at the moment. Looking back up toward the leaders, we see Sam Young and Bill Yarbrough still nose to tail. We see some smoke here. We see the 151 spun and just getting going. So Guy Petra brings out our latest caution. We'll take a look back. Remember Guy just taking 2 tires, came out in the lead. Whoa, and he looked like he knew he was going to hit the wall there, and turned the wheel hard down left, and appears did a great job of keeping it off the wall there. And we're back live. We're going to see our green flag stops again. Helicopter view. I'm trying to get that pit lane view. There we go. There's a good view. And there we can see Robert Bochum's pit right in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And we see all the lead lap cars are in. And away we go. Whoa! Thought I saw. I think we saw Sam spin the car there coming out of pit lane. Let's rewind that here and see what happened to Sam. I think I saw him spinning as he just left the camera. So we're inside Sam's cockpit here, and there you see the acceleration, and he got loose, and he got into the inside wall. He had to back it up, and he got it going again. Wow, so mistake there by Sam Young as he got out of pit lane. Got a little much on that gas, and car came around on him. So let's recap. Was Sam able to get across the line? It appears he's assuming the 3rd spot here. Let's check on that. We see the lights are still on the pace car, so we'll follow Sam around here. And Nicole, they're in 4th. Or, excuse me, 3rd. We're going to have to see where this all... Appears Sam will be in that 3rd position. And let's take another look back at that. So take a look back at this pit stop here. We see Sam is our 2nd car in that order. Let's get you a better look. There we see Sam in the pits. 4-tire change. See Robert Bokum down in your bottom right corner. And let's see here. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. So as Robert left the pits, Sam spun, and it appears he crossed the line second. And then the 54 car Bill Yarbrough. But we're green flag racing. So it gave Bill Yarbrough that spot. So the 18 and 54 now really are battling for the lead. 2 by 2 now. Bill Yarbrough on the inside, Robert Bokum on the outside. I don't know if Robert really wants this so early in a run. But Bill Yarbrough now will be our new leader and will lead his first lap tonight. So now checking our running order. 54 Bill Yarbrough, 98 of Sam Young, 18 of Robert Bokum, and the 5 of Nicole Johnson are our top 4. Flying overhead here at Richmond International. Watching Bill Yarbrough on your left side, on the left there. Sam Young is the center car, and right on the bottom of your picture is the 5 of Nicole Johnson. And it looks now like Mark DeCenza was able to get around his teammate Robert Bokum for the 4th position. So we have Bokum Motorsports 3-4-5 right now. 99 to Pops Marguson now closing in on Robert. So Pops, haven't talked about him much in this race. He's been toward the back of the field, but now Pops getting up into that top 10, and he wants to be in that top 5 now. Pops is a good short track racer, so not a surprise that he would do well here. We see that he's trying to press Robert Bokum here for that position. We see the 303 of Ken Ron, 96 of Jim Ray right behind Pops. 17 of T-Roy now trying to make an inside move on Jim. And he's successful. Right behind Jim is the 83 of Steve Weber. So we go back to our leaders. 54 is now still leading, but now the 5 of Nicole Johnson is in second. The 6 of Mark DeCenza is third. Sam dropping back to 4th. Now Bill goes in very high, lets the 5 car go down low. And Nicole takes that position. So Nicole again leading, I believe, for maybe the 3rd time of this race, possibly the 4th time. So we have some repeat leaders here. Robert Bokum's led about 2 or 3 times. Sam Young has led 3 or 4 times. Nicole's led 3 or 4 times. We've also had Mark DeCenza lead laps. Jim Ray led laps we saw under caution. So a lot of different leaders so far here at Richmond. Right now it's the 5 and the 6 show. 54 Bill Yarbrough dropped back to 3rd position. Sam Young 4th. Robert Bokum 5th. Pops 6th. See that Bill looks to be struggling just a little with the handling now. Maybe he drove those laps hard in anticipation of thinking there was going to be maybe a caution that he could, cool the tires and slow back down and save them for a little longer run. We see the 54 getting a little loose there in the turn, and that's brought the 99 and 303 up, and 303 made a strong inside move on the 99 and takes the position away. We see our leader in the white car there, just disappearing off the screen, and there's looks like a brewing battle for the lead here. And we see the 5 of Nicole Johnson there, the all white car, and then the 6 of Mark DeSenza, the bad boy car, white top, black side, or look, maybe black quarter panels, rear quarters. Now Mark is in the lead, and leading laps for, I believe, the first time in this race now as well. We have caution out though. Caution is out. Trying to determine what happened. Looks like 17 just crossed the line as we switch cameras there. So let's take a quick look here. Riding with the 17 of Troy Knoll. Caution is already out. So riding with Pops here, trying to see when this caution came out and who was involved. Hard to tell. Let's go back live and see our caution is out. The 151 is retired, so possibly Guy Petra brought out that caution. Let's see here. We're looking at the 151 of Guy Petra here, who has retired, and trying to figure out why that happened, and can't really tell. And I can't determine what caused that caution. So we'll move on. We see in Pops is showing a lap down here. 18 of Robert Boken with 117 laps down, so just 42 laps remaining. Back live here. Pace car still with the lights on. So Robert Boken back. These yellow flags not going to the green flag stops here is really paying off for Robert Boken with the preferred #1 pit stall. He has taken advantage of it several times tonight with leaders pitting right before him, and of course him pitting with that group, but not having to do anything when he exits that pit. Certainly making a lot of difference for him, and of course he's doing it perfectly too, which maybe you take for granted, but not easy to pit. Easy to slide through your pits if you haven't used your brakes in a long time, and you know you're at pace speed, and you come in, you hit your brakes for the first time at 40 miles an hour. Sometimes you slide right through. So Robert hitting his marks in the pits, and it's paying off with that. Again, that preferred pit position paying dividends for the 18 car, and he'll be our leader as we go back green. We'll go back green at lap 120. So 41 laps to go as we cross the line to restart this race. See the 99 of Pops Marguson is down on the inside. He's just one lap down. And Pops can get out in front of the leader, have a caution, he'll get that lap back. That's the way to do it here at FSB Racing. No lucky dog, no free passes, no wave arounds. You got to earn your lap back by passing the leader. And we're under green flag. Robert Bokum accelerates out. Pops does not go. So Pops not challenging for that lap. Robert leads him out of 2 and back onto the backstretch here. 18 in the lead, 5 of Nicole Johnson second, 98 of Sammy Young third, 54 of Bill Yarbrough fourth. I think the winner's going to come from these top 4. I really do. I know that's really going out on the limb, picking Robert Bokum and Sam, who's won a lot of races lately. Bill Yarbrough, of course, can win at any time. But I really think these 4 have been the class of the field all night, and they're showing it. The 18 and the 5 teammates. Question is, will the 5 be content to run second here as the laps wind down? We're inside of 40 to go. There's the 98 and the 54, third and fourth place. Then the gap back to 5th, 303 Ken Ron. The 99 is a lap down. Next in the running order, the 83 of Steve Weber and 17 of T. Roy. There was some rumors that T. Roy wasn't giving up his liquid refreshments. Comes to find out that a couple guys didn't. Oh, and we see the 303 of Ken Ron getting around. And he's in the wall. And he's still in the wall. Now he gets the car turned around. Gets going. Caution is out for the 303 car. Again, a self-spin. Ken Ron getting a little loose, getting up into the wall. Certainly will have a little damage to address as well as the field slows again at lap 125 of 160 laps here, so 36 laps remaining. We'll be inside of that, of course, when we go green. The leaders again come down pit lane. 54, 98, 5, and 18 are top 4. Will they leave as the top 4? Probability, of course, in my mind, is very high that they will. We see the 18 in, 98's in, 5's in. There we see the 6 car Mark DeSenza just sliding in, and also the 54 Bill Yarbrough. Just to the left of there goes Bill, and Robert will lead him off. Sam second, Nicole third, and Bill fourth. And looks like Mark DeSenza will round out our top 5. So again, Boca Motorsports, 3 of the top 5 positions. Sammy's on Team FSB with boss man Jim Ray and a couple other guys that are not here tonight. So boss man a little too far back right now to give Sammy any kind of assistance there. But the 5, the 18, our leader, and also let's not forget the 6 car of Mark DeSenza. They're a formidable team, and you can see with again 3 of the top 5 Boca Motorsports. There's a reason for that, and the reason is they practice, they know how to work the game. They've been doing it a long time, and the successes continue for Boca Motorsports into this season. So again, congratulations to Robert for putting together literally an all-star team. And I'm sure he's very proud of his hard work there to get it down to that short of a time. The lights are still on the pace car here, so longer caution it seems like here. We're on lap 128. Expect to see the lights going off here as the pace car will cross the stripe. Robert Bokum's our leader. Going down the backstretch here. So if the lights go out on the pace car here, we'll go back green flag racing at lap 30. Lap 130. And that would mean 31 laps remaining in the race. Can we keep it green to the end of this race? I sure hope so. Amazingly enough, almost every caution was a self-spin tonight. Lights are out on the pace car, so we will be green flag racing very shortly. Our leader is Robert Bokum. Sam has been successful in getting around Robert in early race restarts. Will Robert have different strategy now as the laps are winding down? I think Robert has a trick or two up his sleeve for Sam, and I'm sure Sam is thinking that Robert probably has something up his sleeve, so I better be prepared for something. So we'll see who's going to win this out. The 18 will lead it down as we go back to green flag racing. 98 second, 5 third, and the 54 car is in fourth. So Robert Bokum leading them out on this restart. 98 of Sam Young second. Let's see if Sam will put that pressure on like he has time and time over. Robert might be anticipating that, and he's kind of pressing the pace to see if Sammy can chase him down or use his stuff up and fall back. And it'll be interesting to see, as Sam I know needs the get around Robert right as soon as possible. As the run goes on, Robert just gets stronger and stronger. The setup of the car is perfect for him, and he'll power out of it. But right now, nose to tail with the 98 and the 5, so top three. And there's the 54 Bill Yarbrough has dropped back just a bit. '18 and 98 battling for the lead. 5 and 54, third and fourth. Then there's that gap, and it goes back to Mark DeSenza. And there's the 99, our favorite. So checking laps, they wind down quickly here at Richmond. We're on lap 134 of 160, 27 laps remaining. So the laps are winding down fast as we stay with our top four. Robert Bokum in the lead, 98 of Sam Young second, Nicole Johnson in the 5 car third, and the 54 Bill Yarbrough fourth. As I said, this group of cars will decide the winner tonight. Probably just a little too much space for the 6 to carry. But Sam has not left the back bumper of Robert Bokum, so I still think Sam wants to pass as quickly as an opportunity comes up. He's going to take advantage of it. I think one of the things he likes to do is that outside in move. But at Richmond's hard to pull off. It's hard to go into this turn one sweeper down too low, or as you either have to go much slower than you'd like, which would cost you time and positions possibly, or as you come around, the car gets extremely loose. So either one, worst case scenarios to avoid. And the 98 continues to pressure the 18 car. Will Sammy make a move for the lead? is the question. Our top four, and Mark Senza desperately trying to catch this pack. Just a little out of touch from him. There's the 99 of Pops Marguson. Of course, like I said, showing a lap down. See the boss ray getting a little high up there against the wall. Happens when your car is pushing really bad. That's what happens to it. And Jim in traffic there, so the car might not be handling as well as he'd like either, and he gives up the position to the 83 and the 303, and falls back in line. We see the 17 car of T-Roy. Here we see the 96 with the top 10 right now, battling the 303 there, and Jim got the inside position and took that spot from the 303. So nice move by the boss man there. He'll pick up the 8th position. That was a battle for 8th. Jim moving up to 8th, and Kenron moving back to 9th. Robert Bokum continues to be our leader as the laps are winding down. We're on lap 144 of 160. 17 laps to go. Sam's still on his bumper. Can Sam make a move is the question. The 5 and the 54 have dropped back just a tick. Can they come back and catch these leaders? If you're Nicole, you'd like to get up a little closer there, so if Sam does make a move and is either successful or unsuccessful, you're able to take advantage. If Sam is unsuccessful, he might be going slower, and you're able to get down onto the inside and maybe take that position away from him. If Sam is successful, maybe she'd be able to follow in his foot tracks, and of course that would put her teammate Robert Bokum down to 3rd, but got to look for the openings as they present themselves. It's unfortunate that the report and etc. got jacked up there. Robert Bokum continues to keep that little distance. Sam has not been able to make any inroads. We still have more than 10 laps left. Will Sam give it a shot, or does he think that this is as good as he can do? We'll find out. Lap 147 of 160. So it looks like we will have a nice green flag finish to this race. The question is, will the 98 be able to make a move on the 18 car? Five and the 54 have dropped back a little, so it looks like it will be a 2-car race here for the Richmond title. Who wants it? Will it be the 18? Will it be the 98? Will it be someone else that comes out of nowhere? Robert continuing to have that tiny little cushion. Sam trying to close up on that back bumper and maybe get him a little loose, or a little arrow loose as they call it, when you get tuck in right behind the back bumper of someone, and then as they turn the car in, the downforce is upset on the back of the car, and they can get the car squirrely, making you lift or take evasive action that can cost you dearly, of course. And Sam and Robert have really separated themselves from the field now. Next pack is led by the 5 of Nicole Johnson, Bill Yarbrough right behind her. There's the 6 of Mark DeSenza, so there's a trio now trying to run down the duo. a trio versus duo. You'd think the trio would have the advantage, but what they don't have is time on their side, as we're down to 9 laps to go. The 54 have taken a look there on the inside of the 5. And Mark DeSenza conflicted. You go with your teammate there and try to keep the position for your teammate. But Bill Yarbrough now goes high, and the 6 is able to get to the inside of the 54 and take that position from her. And the reason I kind of stumble through that is because I'm not quite sure. But here we see our leaders: Robert Bokum, Sam Young. 7 laps to go. Pro Cup, Richmond International. Robert Bokum has led from the restart here, and he's led every lap in this restart. I believe he may also be a candidate for most laps led, which is an additional bonus point. So good job there by Robert Bokum, leading when it means most, which is in that last run. We're down to 5 laps remaining. 18 and 98 still very much in touch with each other. The 5 and the 6 car nose to tail. See the 6 now making a move to the inside. Teammates there, the Bokum Motorsports teammates, Mark DeSenza and Bill Yarbrough follow through the same hole that was made by Mark DeSenza. And the answer is yes. Yes, he can. So Nicole losing a couple of positions here late in the race as we hit 4 laps to go. Looking at our leaders, Robert still has that same little cushion. If Sam's going to make a move, Sam, you better think about it like real soon. Lap 158 of 160. 3 laps to go. We'll keep it on our leaders. More specifically, we'll keep it on Sammy here and see if he can make a move for the win. Looked like Robert backed that turn down a little and made Sam kind of gather it up just a bit. We're on 2 to go. We should see the white flag out this lap. White flag is out. 1 to go. Robert Bokum going into turn 1 for the last time. Sam following him in. Can Sam power out of this turn and get closer? Does not look good for Sam here. And we'll see Robert Bokum coming around. And Robert Bokum will take our win. Sam second. Mark DeSenza third. Bill Yarbrough fourth. And Cole Johnson fifth. Ouch. So, Robert Bokum is our winner. Just smooth as silk as usual. Let's do some donuts with our race winner, Robert Bokum, in the Rockstar Energy drink. Ride. Looks good. Gold and black. Robert really giving the crowd their money's worth. And there you have it, folks. Our winner, Robert Bokum, celebrating on the front stretch. And our race is official. So let's take a look at our final standings here. You see our winner, Robert Bokum. Sam Young second. Mark DeSenza brings it home third. Bill Yarbrough fourth. Cole Johnson fifth. Nicole's in third there. Lost a couple positions right toward the end there. Steve Webb with a good run in sixth. T. Roy seventh. Boss man Jim Ray in eighth. Ken Ron ninth on the lead lap. 9 cars finish on the lead lap. Pops 1 lap down in 10th. and Guy Petra and Troy Higgins both retired. Not sure why Guy retired. Troy, of course, with the potential 2 incidents there, I believe, so he chose to do that. So there's our race, and wow, when the laps go, they go fast. And let's see if we can get a word with our top finishers here. And what we can also do while we're waiting is take a look at our point standings. And there they are. Let me refresh them. And there's our updated points. So Troy Higgins, despite the problems, perseveres and takes a position. Of course, Jeff Hale not starting this race. So, of course, that hurts Jeff, dropping down 4 positions, back to 5th. Guy Petra moves up 1 to 2nd. Guy Petra 17 points off the lead, 18 points to Mark DeSenza, so just 1 point separating 2nd and 3rd place. Steve Weber with the 6th place run, he'll be happy with that. He moves up into 4th. Jeff Hale falls from the leader position to 5th. Surprised Jeff wasn't here tonight. I hope everything's alright with him. And just 1 point behind Ken Ron in 6th. Nicole Johnson holds position in 7th. Just 34 points back of the leaders. Sam Young 8th. Robert Bokum moving up from 10th to 9th. And Robert now with 3 wins, so he's our bonus point leader over Troy Higgins right now, 3 races to 2. So Robert doing a great job here on limited races, doing a wonderful job in the chase, and trying to build that cushion of about 25 points now over 11th place. Pops falls back to 10th. Jim Ray maintains 11th. And Jim is 12 points out of the chase spot. So good battle there for Jim. And everyone else seems to be eliminated now from that contention. So some storylines that we will be following until the chase starts. Can the boss man break into that top 10, and who will be who's in, who's out? Can anyone stop the Bokum bonus point train from racking up more points? Can we see a first-time winner for the season here? You can see Matt Watkins, of course, running a limited schedule, though, has 3 wins. Robert Bokum 3 wins. Troy Higgins 2 wins, and then 1 each for Jeff and Sam. So Sam getting some bonus points as well. So congrats to Sam. There's our points. And there's our final standings. And we'll look to see if we can get some of our top finishers. And let's see, Sam and Mark DeSenza are our 2nd and 3rd place finishers. And let's see if we can bring our winner here and our 2nd place finisher. And there we are. We're joined by our top 2. Robert Bokum, our winner. Sam Young, 2nd place. Robert, another quality win, man. And I saw how you played that. Nice and easy at the beginning. That last restart, it looked like you were all business there, saying, I'm going to take the lead and keep the lead. So congratulations, and good win for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, that run before, we got a long run. The tires really came in because I was a little easy on them, and I jumped way out there. But it took me till about 25 laps in the run. And with only 30 laps run, I figured it wasn't worth it. But man, that was a blast. Sam, I can honestly say that's probably the hardest I've drove in a long time. He was all over me, a little slip, and he was there. He drove a great race. If he'd got out front, vice versa, I'm not sure that I'd been able to get him. So definitely want to be out front. That was a blast. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was very exciting watching you two battle there lap after lap. It really never left your bumper. So, Sammy, I saw your strategy seemed to be when that green flag dropped, whether it be a restart at the start of the race, was to get out in front and see if you could have people use up their stuff trying to catch you down. And that last restart, I thought you were going to do it again, but just couldn't get it done.
Oh, well, it's funny that you mention that because I was playing a little bit of a game like that. I wanted to see if I could, especially when the 6 and the 5 got out front there. I said, let them go. Let those guys burn some stuff up. I seen the 54 was coming. I kind of let him go. And I was kind of playing Mr. Bocum's game there. I knew if I kind of stick around with him, he's a guy to watch. So I stuck around with him. And I kind of let a couple of drivers go early a couple times and jumped out in the lead a couple times. And just make sure, of course, I got my lead point there, and but it was a great race at the end. Especially, I went all out at the end to push the tires as hard as I could. I got to almost 240 on the temperature tires, on the tire temp. So I did give it everything I had. And Robert, you're a fine driver, man. You kept it clean. You're just fun to race against, bud.
I appreciate it, Sam. You're always a blast. Me and Sam both come from short track races, so for us to be able to battle each other like that, it's a blast, man.
Yeah, very appropriate. Very appropriate.
Yeah, you can run side by side with, and that's what makes it a blast. I mean, it's just a fun race. I do want to give a quick shout out to my little girl, Caitlin. She runs her track meet this week, so I just showed you how to do it, honey. Drop the hammer and go, so get on it.
Well, I'm sure she's a chip off the old block, so no worries.
Yep, ain't no doubt there.
But yeah, cause Sam had everybody had a good race. You could have put through a blanket over the top 5 cars for a long time there, but I knew Sam was going to go, so I figured I was going to give it all she had and hope she had enough. And yeah, one little slip though, and I'm pretty sure the 98 car would have been right there with me, under me actually.
Well, sometimes if you goofed a little bit, just a little bit, I could tell when you're just a little bit off, and you go towards the end of the run there, and it's just every time somebody else gets that little tiny little slip, maybe you got a little sideways, I'm never ready, and I always screw up myself right after that. So that's the nature.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining battle there, and yeah, it looked like early on, it was a little give and take there, and Robert, you dropped back a couple of times. I think you were content on seeing if there was going to stay green early on. Of course, with those cautions, you really never got that opportunity to have the tires come in for you.
Yeah, I wanted to get a run in and see what they were going to do, because you just can't get what you need out of practice. You can run by yourself, but it's just not the same. But we finally got that long run, and yeah, it showed by. I didn't really try to save a whole lot. I just didn't kind of stay consistent 22 O's, and I think, like I said, with about, well, that was probably 30 laps left in the run, man, that thing just took off, and I was able to pull out there to a pretty good little lead. And it's one of the deals where I'm not usually one of them that goes hard at it, but I knew if I didn't, I couldn't take a chance of having a green-white checker at the end or something and pitting, because Sam, like I said, he's from the short tracks too. He knows when it's time to get up on the wheel, so I got a race who I'm racing with at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sammy, one last thing here, we caught you doing a little spin cycle there on pit lane. What happened there?
I'm just trying too hard to get out the pits, and I goosed it a little too hard, and kind of seen Nicole coming. I was like, I can't let her beat me. Out the pits, and goosed it too hard and ended up facing the wall. So that's what you get when you try to outdo yourself.
Yeah, what was interesting is we watched it in replay, and as you were as the car was coming around, you crossed the line. It appeared in front of Bill Yarbrough, but Bill did, in the order, it looked like he started ahead of you. So it was an interesting call by the game there, not awarding you that second position. It looked like you restarted from third. So maybe the spin, it didn't determine that you crossed the line properly or something. I don't know. But interesting thing there. And, of course, luckily, you did cross that line because you were able to gain back a few positions that you lost there.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing the tracker sensor thing isn't on the left front bumper, because I would have lost on that deal. Yeah, I definitely would have made out. But no, I just goosed a little too hard and lucked out on that one.
Yeah, and the other thing we noticed is in pit lane, the number one pit stall, Robert, appears on camera to be extremely further away than number two pit lane. A lot of space there.
Yeah, had a lot of spacing in pitting. I thought about starting in the back because we didn't have a whole lot of cars. I wanted to save my stuff, but having that first pit stall is so important here. I mean, there's a couple of times that we come on pit road third when they would come out, and Sam kind of caught on to me there, getting the jump to the outside of him coming on pit road. He started squeezing it off a little bit. I couldn't get out there anymore, so he caught on to it a little bit, but. Yeah, it's good to have that first.
That's short track games.
There you go.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to fool. It's hard to fool the veterans, isn't it?
Yeah, I got to throw this in there on that. I actually mentioned to Jim Ray about that starting line. The starting line for pit stall number one is that the pit line is about 2 inches away from the end of the pit where his pit stall is, and it's about 30 feet back to stall number two.
I noticed that a couple of times. In fact, one of the camera angles you can't even see pit stall one. It's so far up front of pit stall two. So yeah, a big advantage at Richmond there, and Robert looked like was pitting as deep as possible as well, so it was just about 6 inches from the line there, Robert.
Yeah, well, more or less, I was trying to give Sam plenty of room. I didn't want it to be to cause me anything if I had to, hang up or something, hanging him from getting out. So I always try to, if I'm up front, I try to give a deep. If I'm in the back, I try to pit kind of a little early, to get a run off. So, but yeah, me and Sam, like I said, the short, just to come down to us two, because we both grew up. I mean, I know a lot of people like racing and all, but I grew up on short tracks. That's what I love to do. And the battle with Sam, man, just makes it a blast. I mean, you can just sit more side by side. There's going to be some leaning, but there's not going to be any wrecking. That's what makes it so fun. We can trust each other.
Yeah, in fact, 0 wrecks tonight. Basically, every caution was a self spin.
Nice.
Yeah, setup was really, really free coming off. If you got that right rear heated up, it would really light it up straight away.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys struggling coming out of 2 on that flat back straight. It seemed like sometimes they get a little too low on the apron there, clipped the apron as they were getting onto that straightaway part, and the car came around several times on guys.
Yeah, I think that was where my car was the best at, because I could get up in there. Yeah, I probably didn't go off as hard as everybody, but I was able to get my car pointed where I could use my throttle and get the car pointed straight at the wall and it would come off. I really like turn 2. That's where I felt the most comfortable.
And Sam, last thing here, didn't see the car hanging out as much as I like to see you do. So a little conservative maybe tonight, huh?
No, it's strictly a set here. You really can't force this thing to the outside. And people as fast as Robert Boken, you just can't even mess around. I mean, I even start thinking about outside, especially like at Martinsville, and that 5's underneath me in a heartbeat, and she ain't going to give you no spot. So best just to play conservative. I'm trying to learn the tire game here. It's all about tires and what you're going to do with them and when you're going to do it. And Mr. Boken's showing me the way on that. He probably doesn't want to show me the way, but he is.
Yeah. Well, when you ride, I guess when you ride behind him long enough, you can start taking notes.
Well, he's done that. Let me just tell you, Sam has made a 3-0. And not that he's a bad driver last year at all. I don't mean that at all. He's just as tough, but now he's tough and smart. So you put those two combinations together, and they're deadly.
Yeah, and we were talking, Sam, I think maybe a little earlier this week about you just seem like everything. Every series you show up for right now, you're really in contention. You're leading laps across the series. It comes in waves like that sometimes for you, and right now you're riding that wave.
Yeah, and I've been on the bottom of that wave. I've been definitely on the bottom of the ocean. So now it'll be time. Let's see what happens here. We're trying to get some championships here or something. We want to get a trophy in the house, and that's what we're working on. And we're going to do whatever we can to do that.
I hear you. Well, thanks guys for joining me. Congrats, Robert, Sam. Great race, great show at the end there. I think many people will enjoy watching that didn't get a chance to race tonight. So we'll be getting that out to the public for you. And again, thanks for joining us, and we'll be wrapping it up now.
Appreciate it. And everybody tuning in Friday night. Hillside, it's going to be a really interesting race there, let me tell you.
Hillside,
man, let me tell you, we did that chicken run prep race, and it's fast, and when things happen, they happen fast and furious.
Yeah, the draft plays a big part in it. The only difference I think you're going to see between the chicken run and the aero cars is tires. I think you're going to get your tires a lot hotter in the aero cars. So I don't, pretty much same thing as every week. You'll see some go hard and you see a little bit saving, and somewhere they'll come all meet in the middle there. The only thing about Hillside, I think if you ever have an accident, you're going to have a big accident. It's going to capture a bunch of them.
Yeah, it happens when wrecks happen there. They happen fast and not a lot of reaction time. And like you said, drafting about 20-second laps around a mile oval. So basically, we're a quarter mile bigger than we are at Richmond and running 2 seconds faster. So that's crazy.
Chasing the 98 car because he showed the way last night. So I had to see if I can figure out what to do with him on Friday night.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a plan, Robert.
But thanks to you too, Greg, for doing this, man, taking your time out. And,
Yep,
thanks for all the fans that watch it. And
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
to my lovely wife, Jennifer, for not getting angry when I do this every night. I mean, just a few nights a week.
Yeah, hey, just for an hour or so.
That's right. I got a good one. I can't. I got lucky. She was in the racing. She married in the racing, and she loves racing, so it helps out.
Definitely good when the significant other is a supporter rather than looking over your shoulder.
That's it. No, I'd have to move Sam in. He'd have to race downstairs.
I don't do dishes or windows.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up. And again, like you said, Robert, Friday night, Winston Cup, Hillside, fast 1 mile oval. So tune in for that, and we'll see you again when we see you.
Take care, guys. Good run, Sam. It was a blast.
All right, Greg, thanks.